Hello, everyone. Ex-Wall Kill Bethelite here. And we're going to talk a little bit more about Bethel. We're going to be getting into Bethel a lot because it's not really something that a lot of people talk about, but it's something that needs to be discussed. Because the whole theology of Jehovah's Witnesses that God is going to kill everyone on the planet except Jehovah's Witnesses and then build a society of just Jehovah's Witnesses is ridiculous. God would never kill everyone on the planet except for the dumbest people alive and then try to start a society with the stupidest people on the planet. Everyone would die off. If there was no one else but Jehovah's Witnesses, everyone would have died off from COVID, but everyone would die off because there would be nobody left but the stupidest individuals on earth. Like, who's going to do that? Who's going to kill off all the smart people and try to start a society of stupid people? Like the last watchtower they discussed, they talked about not being jealous of each other for like a whole solid hour. These people all went from paragraph to paragraph talking about how it's bad to be jealous, how it's bad to envy. They ain't talking about much else. There's just a whole hour of the last watchtower study talking about envy bad. You mean to tell me you about to start a whole society? You about to kill off everybody and try to start a society with them idiot? No, there's no way God's plan is to kill off all the intelligent life on earth except Jehovah's Witnesses. Killing everybody except Jehovah's Witnesses would be destroying all intelligent life on earth. How do we know? Bethel. Let's talk about what so many others don't talk about. Bethel is an example of some of the worst people management there is. Worst property management there is. You know, the people here watching this knows, if they were to start a facility of some sort, whether it be a business or what have you, if they were going to start a facility of some sort, for each department, you're going to need a set amount of people. And Bethel's bright idea was that they're going to have people work for free, so these people are going to need a place to live. They're going to provide the housing. But what would be common sense to you or I is not common sense at Bethel. You're going to need room at Bethel for your departments and your living quarters. Bethel didn't figure that out. You have overpopulation in certain areas of Bethel. There should have never been 3 or more person rooms. The rooms were not big enough for 2 people, let's be honest. The rooms there are a decent size for 1 person. So if you put 1 person per room, well, then you've got enough space for that individual. Those rooms are not really big enough for 2 let alone 3 people. Bethel mismanaged their manpower. Why is it no one talks about this? Bethel was stacking people up in rooms where people were sleeping on the floor, where all these people had different work schedules, where people are trying to sleep, and then somebody else has to wake up because they've got to be at work earlier than everybody else, and they've got to step over everybody, turn on the light, wake everybody up while they're getting ready to go to their assignment. Bethel didn't have enough common sense to say, hey, we need X amount of people for this department, so then let's make this many quarters for those people. Okay, we need X amount of people for this department, so we need this many quarters for those people. You can't pile people up on top of each other. You had a situation at Bethel where there was no place for anybody to go to just take a breath for a second and have a second to themselves. Can you understand that Walk Hill Bethel is not like Brooklyn? It's not where you can just walk away from Watchtower owned property and go for a walk somewhere. Watchtower owns all of it. It's all Watchtower owned property. So everywhere you go, there's other people trying to get away from people themselves. I used to go on top of the roof. I can't remember if it was it was across from the dining room. So you got the dining room here. You look out onto the courtyard, and above those buildings, I'd like to go on top and just find a place to just relax for a second. But when I would do that, there would be 15 other people up there also trying to get away from people to just relax for a second. Why is this? It is because they're all piled up into these little rooms where they can barely breathe. So, of course, now, as a reaction to Bethel's mismanagement of the living quarters, and we'll just stack a whole bunch of people. We'll just stack a whole bunch of people on top of each other. But now you got people wandering all over Walk Hill trying to find a place to relax, trying to find a place to get away from people. And it don't matter if you get on the roof. There's people up there on the roof. It didn't matter if I would go take a walk at Walk Hill, just out somewhere. There was other people taking a walk just out somewhere, trying to get away from their roommate who they were piled up on top of. Like you don't, your room should be a place where you can go and relax. How can you relax when your roommate is in your face? There ain't even a wall separating you at all. You ain't even got a bathroom in a lot of those places. Right? It's ridiculous that nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about Bethel mismanaging, not knowing, well, we need this many people to work in a department. Well, we probably should have equal living quarters for them to live in. And what ended up happening is they didn't make enough living quarters for everybody, so they just started piling people in rooms together. And people just let it go as if it was nothing. Like this is basic 1 and 1 equals 2, y'all. Basic 1 and 1 equals 2. You got too many departments. This is something else nobody talks about. Like Bethel is a complete example of mismanagement everywhere. You got too many departments, right? At Bethel, You have got this whole laundry department, which takes up room, which takes people, right? That room could have been used for residences, or it could have been used for something else. If you don't even need the department, you don't need all those people piled up on each other in the residences because you don't even need a laundry department. You got this huge laundry department with all those people working in there. Guess what? Bethel has laundry rooms. I would take my clothes, take it down to the laundry room. They had laundry detergent down there. I'd wash my clothes in the laundry room and be done with it. Everybody could have done that because you have laundry rooms. What was the point in having a laundry room and a laundry department? What? Everything that you could wash in the laundry. Like if I go to the laundry room, I can wash everything. My sheets, my clothes, everything that needs to be washed, I can take care of it in the laundry room. Bethel has laundry rooms. So why in the world do you have a department with people washing clothes and pillowcases and whatnot? Are the governing body just that lazy that they decided, well, hey, let's these people are working for free, right? Well, we don't really need one, but with free labor, hey, let's have a bunch of people do our laundry, so we don't got to do that. We could just go to the laundry room that they've got laundry rooms throughout Bethel. But no, we don't want to do that. We got people working for free. Let's bring more people up to Bethel than what we need because we ain't got to pay them. And boom, now we've got this whole laundry department. Because you got to understand that a lot of these crews at Bethel, these departments are not that big. The food warehouse, for example, my crew on the food warehouse may have been like 5 people. That's it. 5 people, which would mean you would only need 5 residences. For all these small departments at Bethel, you wouldn't need that many residences. Well, Bethel just started piling up departments because you got all these people working for free. So why not have an upholstery shop? Why not have a shoe shop? Why not have a key making shop? Why not have everything you can imagine? Because all these people will do it for free. A complete mismanagement. And we're not going to build any more residences. We'll just keep piling up people on top of each other. The whole laundry crew is not needed. The whole laundry crew is not needed. Complete mismanagement. Anybody could figure that out. Then you've got the waiter crew. Now, who goes to Bethel to be a waiter? Why on earth would you need a waiter? Why? Why would you need a waiter? The food is the same for everybody. The reason restaurants need a waiter is because they have this thing, it's like a menu where you sit down, you order your food, and the food you order is different from the food they order, which is different from the food they order, and there needs to be an organized way to bring all these people, all these different meals that they're ordering. Bethel has got the same meal for everybody. For breakfast that day, for lunch that day, they making the same thing. For dinner that day, they making the same thing for everybody. So why do you need a waiter? They don't. They're just idiots. So Bethel decides we're going to have all these waiters for no reason at all other than to bring a dish to a table, which we could have done ourselves. I would have been much more happy getting up, getting what I wanted to eat, putting it in my plate, and going to go sit down somewhere and go eat it. Versus the waiter putting it in a dish and then taking the dish to the table. And then the person at the table has to then take the dish, completely unnecessary, but take the dish and then pass the dish around the table, then set the dish to the side. Then the waiter comes get the dish and then get... Dude, the whole waiter crew was unnecessary. We could get up and get our own food, put it in a plate, and then go eat it. Bethel probably did that because the governing body didn't even want to get their own food. These people are so lazy. Governing body is like, hey, all these people working for free? What? Well, we about to have waiters now. And, well, we don't have enough room in the residences for all this, but we'll just pile these people up on top of each other. They'll work for free and they'll live in 3-room or 3-man rooms. Rooms big enough for one person having 3 people in it. Like we'll just pile them up. They'll just live that way. And I think the crazy thing is now, after Bethel had to sell so many buildings and whatnot and basically downsize, they probably then, from my understanding, decided, well, we don't need waiters. We can set the food up and people can go and get it. Duh. You mean to tell me these are the people God wants to preserve while he kills all the other intelligent life on earth and keeps the people that didn't know this quote-unquote God's organization, and they didn't know that Bethelite Marcus could take a plate and go and put food on that plate and then go sit down and eat it. They went and got a whole crew of people to do some unnecessary stuff like put food in a dish and bring it to a table. That's all. Clean up after we ate. Don't you know we can clean up ourselves if we're sitting at a table? The Bethelites that sat at that table could clean the table that they sat at. There's no need for the whole waiter crew. There's no need for the whole laundry crew. All that overpopulation is mismanaging manpower, and it shows that the governing body does not care about its members. They know these people are working for free. So they took advantage of it and brought way more people and way more departments to Bethel than what was necessary, because it doesn't inconvenience anybody but the people that they're bringing up here working for free. Governing body just gets another free service. Anybody that was at Wallkill, the farm, will remember that big auditorium that they had. There was a huge auditorium. Again, we're talking about mismanagement, everything, messing everything up, right? Bethel's got to pile people up on top of each other because they're mismanaging how they build the place. So you have this huge auditorium. What did we use that auditorium for primarily at Bethel? Primarily, we use that auditorium for the Bethel Family Watchtower study. A study that all of us were going to have at the meeting anyway. A study that all of us, we all could sit down and study our own watchtower. I just told you, The Watchtower from this past Sunday was about not being jealous. A 5-year-old could study that. We don't need an entire ginormous section of Bethel sectioned off because people need to sit there and study a Watchtower that they're going to study again that next Sunday. The stupidity of it. So you mean to tell me that auditorium wasn't really used for much else? I mean, they would use it when they would do the Gilead introductions, but other than that, the only other use you had for the whole, I'm talking about auditorium big enough for pretty much most of Bethel to go down there, to sit down there. So you're talking a huge space taken up for no other purpose at all other than for a study that we were going to study at the hall anyway. You didn't got to study Watchtower twice. The last Watchtower is about freaking don't be jealous, jealous bad. We don't need to study that twice. Bethel Family Watchtower study ain't at the hall. A complete mismanagement. And what we don't talk about also is Wallkill Bethel really is known as the farm. For the longest time, it was called the farm. We need to discuss this. Why did they call it the farm? It was supposed to be a farm. So all of Wallkill, the entire Wallkill, ended up being unnecessary because it's a completely failed farm. They once had chickens and they had all kinds of different things. When I was there, all they had as far as meat was steers. They didn't have the chickens. They didn't have the pigs. Watchtower was slowly getting away from the whole farm concept and going into just purchasing the food that they needed. A lot of the things that we would use for food, we purchased it. It would come in on a big old Cisco truck. We'd offload the truck, keep the food stored in the warehouse. So what are you talking about, farm? They had corn that we would chuck. They had like berries that people would come and pick. You call that a farm? If you got a backyard, you can have a farm then. If you just got a backyard, you can have yourself, according to Jehovah's Witnesses, according to Bethel, you can have a farm. You're a farmer if you got a backyard and you just grow some corn and you grow some berries. Only thing else they had was steer and cows. They had like 2 animals. And they call it's a whole farm. Bethel purchased. You talk about mismanagement of funds. Bethel purchased the entire area of Wallkill. All of 800 Red Mills Road, when you drive down that road, everything you see is owned by Watchtower. And they bought all that to build a farm. Then changed their mind and decided, we'll just start purchasing a lot of food. Well, what's everybody there for? The whole freaking Wallkill don't need to be there. Then they decide, we'll just move the printing presses from Brooklyn to Wallkill. They just don't know what they doing. So the farm then became the hub for printing. Why are we still calling it a farm? Because Jehovah's Witnesses are so mixed up, upside down. They don't know if they coming or going. They can't get their teachings right. When I say these people are not very bright. I'm talking, I can prove it. Not just with the failed teachings. They can't figure out their own religion. They can't figure out its own teachings. That they keep getting wrong and having to have new light or change it. The whole layout of Bethel. So you mean to tell me all of Walk Hill, where I worked, the entire farm, all of Walk Hill, it was unnecessary. You need to buy all that land for corn, some steers, a cow, and some berries. That's a farm? I would go into the commissary and all that stuff was purchased stuff. All that stuff was off of a Cisco truck. If I work at a farm, I should be able to go into the commissary and just have all kinds of produce and strawberry and all kinds of produce that came from the farm. Right? There should be plenty of chicken. There should be plenty of, we should be rolling in food because Jehovah's Witnesses decided, hey, we're going to create a farm and call it Walk Hill Bethel. Well, the whole freaking thing failed then. That ain't no farm. It's a half a farm. It's got a couple of things and like two type of animals in there now. These are the people that God is talking about. He's according to Jehovah's Witnesses. These are the people that God is about to start a whole new civilization with. The people that can't run the Watchtower Corporation that they're using. They can't run the corporation from the corporation side of things, and they can't run it from the religion side of things. They ain't even got enough common sense that if there's a pedophile running loose, to call the cops. These people, Watchtower should be able to sue the producers of Dumb and Dumber for stealing their movie. Because there ain't nobody dumb and dumber than Jehovah's Witnesses. Whoever produced that movie, I think Jim Carrey was in it. All y'all might be getting ready to get sued because the original Dumb and Dumber are the governing body in Jehovah's Witnesses. These people are idiots, and when I say it, some people get offended, but when I say it, I bring proof. We can just talk about Bethel and how everything's mismanaged, and they got whole facilities that they don't really even need because they messed up when they were trying to build a farm. So now Jehovah's Witnesses got a whole bunch of kingdom halls that they don't freaking need. Like they have mismanaged everything that could possibly be mismanaged. The only thing they're good at is being racist and keeping the majority of the governing body white. That's about the only thing that they're good at, is just keeping the majority of the governing body white. Just keep everybody white, keep the black folk sitting at kingdom halls, idiots talking about not being jealous of each other. Talking about don't be, envious and talk about that for an hour. Comment down below, let me know what you think. But we need to talk about how Bethel itself is proof of the idiocy of that organization. 937-789-4029. Shoot a text, we'll discuss it. I'll try to get back to you when I can do so. X Walk Hill Bethelite signing out.